Hey everybody, Jackie in the Raw here. I have to do a little bit of research for an upcoming project with this deck, so I figured I would bring you guys along for a ride. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to pull 12 different cards from the Star Codes Astro Oracle. Heads up, I'm going to be specifically pulling all of the Zodiac cards, so Aries through Pisces. But I'm going to shuffle the deck first, and then I'm just going to flip through the deck until I find one of those Zodiac sign cards, and I'll read it then. So they're not going to come out in order of the Zodiac signs. And so I thought that this might be fun for you guys to hop in and ask whatever question you have and see what comes out through the card as an answer. So take it if you want, leave it if not. Either way, I need to read all of these cards to make a plan, so I figured I would just shuffle and let them come up randomly. So if you're new to me, my name is Jacqui Mancuso. I am an astrologer, a spiritual life coach. All I want to do is help people with the lessons that I've learned from helping myself, and I live in Northern Illinois. So again, take what resonates and leave the rest. I'm not looking for anything to fall out of the deck today. I'm just mixing these up a little bit. And I'm going to go searching for the 12 Zodiac cards. I'll read the book to you guys because that's what helps me channel, is reading the whole book. And then I'll give my description of what I believe the card can be saying for you as well. So you can do this a bunch of different ways. If you have 12 different questions, you can have 12 different questions, one for each of the cards that come out. If you have one major life thing that you want some advice on, you can just allow a number 1 through 12 to come into your awareness. If there's been a number, it's 1, 2, 3 on my clock right now. If there's been a number that has been coming up for you a lot, like if you keep seeing 777, maybe go with 7. If you keep seeing 1111, maybe go with 11. Or if you follow me normally with my oracle and astrology readings on Insight Timer, I always do 3 card spreads there. So if there's 3 numbers that are coming to your mind right now, go with those. And I'll definitely put the timestamp of all of this underneath this video, so don't feel like you have to skip through and guess what card I'm on. Just go ahead and look at the description below this video. So without further ado, I'm just going to start looking through the deck, and we'll see which astrology card comes up first. Awesome. This is actually the card that sparked this whole upcoming project that I have. So the first card that comes up is Aquarius. This is number 11. It's card number 1. So this is card number 1. The message, Aquarius, says collaborate. The symbol for Aquarius is not water, but the water bearer, the person fetching, carrying, and pouring the water, who provides a great service to the community. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn in traditional astrology, co-ruled by Uranus in modern astrology, and is connected to the ankles, which we use to turn from one person to another in conversation. The sun shines through Aquarius January 21st through February 20th. Live by your philosophy. Aquarius's traditional ruler Saturn asks us to know what society expects of us and to care about our reputation. However, Aquarius's co-ruler Uranus encourages us to free ourselves from tradition or others' opinions and be able to think outside the box. Yes, this can feel like a paradox, but it offers a healthy tension to manifest the true you. Know the pattern and riff on it with your own invention. To get to this free place, investigate your philosophy, which is your operating manual, to make sure it's alive and authentic. When you feel your worldview and your actions are integrated, it is easier to call in healthy collaborators. Cultivate allies. Find others called by the same issues and work together. Weave people together to create community. This web will bring in new friendships, purpose, and connections, which may lead to romantic sparks. Throughout the process, consciously maintain a balance between your own needs and those of the collective. The challenge of this card: spiritual practice and personal philosophy can be used to bypass authentic emotions. So be honest with yourself and don't try to talk yourself into feelings you think you should have or onto a path that others find more socially acceptable. If your philosophy clashes with your honest feelings, then your philosophy needs to evolve. If your lifestyle is not in line with your philosophy, then one or both need to change. The gift of this card: the authentic Aquarius gift encourages you to let go of previous constructs and listen to the source within. Honor the reality that you are a unique individual, but you also have a responsibility to contribute to the health of your community. So whatever question you asked of this card, the message that I'm hearing for you is to be authentic, to do what you want to do, but in a way that can serve the community. So this isn't to say that it's your job to observe what the world needs and respond to it. What I get more from this card is that it's up to you to figure out what you desire, what you like to do in your life, how you enjoy doing your time, spending your time. Do that. Offer a way for you to collaborate with other people doing that same thing, and then watch your community build, all out of authenticity. Do you see the difference there? Instead of responding to a need, you just follow what you want to do and invite other people with you. And then you'll be able to solve multiple problems. You'll be doing what makes you happy. You'll be serving your community because you're offering an outlet for other people. And you'll be engaging in community. You'll be surrounded by people, all because you were pulled to do a certain task. You desired a certain thing in your life. So let us know, what are you going to start doing and how are you going to start bringing people into your world so that you can collaborate together with them? All right, card number 2 is the next card. If you selected card number 2, the answer to your question comes from card number 3, which is Gemini, and the message is cross-pollinate. With its symbol of a pair of twins conversing, Gemini asks us to weave a web of connections and build networks with humor and all forms of communication. This mutable air sign, ruled by Mercury, and is connected to the lungs, shoulders, hands, and nerves. Gemini's purpose is to disperse ideas like milk thistle on the spring winds, cross-pollinate ideas like bees buzzing over the flowers. The sun shines here May 21st through June 21st. Words are at the heart of the issue you are facing, and not just any words, but real dialogue. If you feel tension in the situation, see what is blocking the lines of communication and open that aperture. Listen to the grapevine and cross-pollinate. Gather and share information. Bits of truth may float in on gossip. Explore social media, sound bites, and any other way to get the word out. Talk to people as if they are your siblings, true equals. If something is bothering you, find a place to unpack it, get it on the table, and take a good look. Then, talk it over in depth with a friend or therapist, or write in your journal. Trust the process of self-expression to help get you to the root of the problem. However, assume anything you say will be repeated. Gemini scatters seeds. It's not concerned with privacy or individuality and is not necessarily loyal. The challenge of this card: the situation may be more complex than you think, so be willing to dig in. Gemini energy can be shallow or oversimplified, as it encourages breadth rather than depth. So you have to add the depth consciously. The gift of this card: Gemini's gift is an open mind and a sense of universal siblinghood. We are all in this together. The soul knows how to find itself back in equilibrium if we let all parts communicate. Help the unexpressed feelings, persons, and elements within the community be heard. The answer to your question, if card number 2 was for you, is to communicate your ideas. Talk about everything, gossip about it, right? This card is kind of telling us that there's truth in the gossip. And the more you allow yourself to deserve to feel heard, the more you allow yourself to feel worthy of being heard, reminding yourself that your opinion actually matters, you'll be able to find some truth as you just open that floodgate and allow yourself to speak freely about the situation. And it might not be the person, like if there's another person involved in this situation, if this is a relationship question, I would recommend not communicating with them to necessarily find the truth. I would go to a friend, go to your journal, go to a family member to discuss the situation, almost to use your own voice as a sounding board, to hear yourself talk about it, to see how you are able to get to the bottom of what you need to hear just by talking and engaging with someone else. Likewise, take what they have to say about your situation as well. They're not necessarily right, but they're there to offer a different perspective because they're not in your shoes. So yes, they're not in your shoes, so they're not going to have all your answers, but they're able to offer you a different viewpoint because they're not in your shoes. So with this card, the answer to your question is just to have an open discussion. See what you can cross-pollinate with the people in your community. Okay. Card 3. Let's see what comes next for card 3. This is card number 1, Aries, and the message is act. Aries asks you to remember your personal fire, your reasons for being alive. It pumps up the volume on your life force. Its energy is raw, exhilarated, direct, rude, passionate, and looking for a challenge. Use your wisdom to focus this raw power and give it a goal. Aries is the cardinal fire sign whose fresh, brash enthusiasm is symbolized by a headstrong ram. It rules the head and imbues initiation, new beginnings, spontaneity, rebellion, and rebirth. The sun shines here March 20th through April 20th. Begin. Move into a new territory. Cut to the chase. Be a hero. Feel the call to action and thoughtfully respond. Clear the air and clear the decks. Be crisp and to the point. Shoot from the hip. Set healthy boundaries just by being vibrantly alive. Express affection enthusiastically, spontaneously, and passionately. Work in short, intense bursts rather than long periods of deep concentration. Aries activates our inner adolescent. Direct orders can set off knee-jerk rebellion. Instead of telling others what to do or how they feel, express your own experience and opinion and speak in I terms. Set a challenge and let others find their own answers. Make sure all sides feel heard. If a person feels torn between meeting their own needs and meeting another's, they'll take care of their own needs first. So don't set this up as an either-or situation. Aries energy boils over quickly. If a situation threatens to erupt in conflict, get out, take a break, and come back later. The challenge? Accidents increase when you are in a hurry, rushing through a project, or impatiently distracted. This flammable temperament can spark inspiration or spark a conflagration. Proceed with caution. The gift? Aries marks the beginning of spring in the Northern Hemisphere. After a long, dark winter, the dead landscape comes alive. Plants that were shorn of leaves or dormant now breathe new life. This is a brave miracle, and it can be your miracle. Feel the flowing inner life force. Trust this divine direction and summon the courage to begin. If this message is for you today, your message is to just go for it. Rip off the Band-Aid, be direct, speak clearly about what you want, and show clearly what you want through your actions. This is not a time to hesitate. This is not a time to see the full picture. I feel like you might be wanting to use your logical mind to make steps 1 through 10, but this card, this advice for you is saying just go for it. Just take the first step, act courageously, brashly, and trust that you'll be shown the path as you continue to walk. Another thing about this card is if you do run up against some confrontation, if you run up against a challenge, a difficulty, which is inevitable, let's be honest, if you run up against something like that, it's okay to take a breath, it's okay to take a breather, pause for a second, allow yourself to take a short break, and then go right back at it. Card number 4. The message for you is card number 12, Pisces. And the message is sensitize. The symbol for Pisces is 2 fish, usually swimming in opposite directions. Pisces rules the feet and resonates with wetlands, streams, and ponds. Ruled by expansive Jupiter in traditional astrology and by intuitive Neptune in modern astrology, the mutable water sign Pisces calls us to sense our dreams and intuitive perceptions for the trickles and streams of understanding. The sun shines in Pisces February 20th through March 20th. Pisces asks us to swim in the ambient pool of emotion and be moved to compassionate action. With Pisces, think of a vast watery landscape with streams meandering over fields, through ponds and swamps, where different elements and diverse species flow together in one subtle, boundaryless, and fertile landscape. Appreciate all the diverse voices in this situation and take them as tributaries to your river. This complex ecology has so much more to say and is so much more robust than any simple monoculture. The situation you are facing is also subtle and complex, but that is its strength. This moment calls for finer perceptions, a more sensitive microphone. Be as aware of other people's feelings as you are of your own, but know whose feelings are whose. Track carefully what you soak up from others and what is true to your own wellspring. Learn to honor a twin perception that we are both individual cells with our own work to do, and that our cells are embodied in the body of creation. Healthy boundaries help us to do our individual work. Spiritual practice can help us shift our perception from the cell mind to our role in the body of the one. The challenge, Pisces permeability, can leave you lost in a swamp, amorphous, wondering whether your sadness is your own or if it has been sponged up from your surroundings. Empathize with others, but don't try to carry everyone else's pain for them and double the burden. The gift of this card: tune in to a healthy ecosystem with Pisces' sensitive perception. We are all cells in the body of the one. Healthy individuals contribute to the health of the whole. If this message is for you today, this is saying that you might be picking up other people's stuff. You might be feeling other people's feelings. The situation that you are in might not necessarily be as emotional as you are perceiving it to be, because you might be being overly empathetic for the other people involved. which I know comes from a place of love. I know we think that being empathic is caring for other people. But what it actually does when you don't have the correct empathy boundaries is it tears yourself down. So if you are consumed with other people's feelings, when you're consumed with feeling other people's sadness, feeling other people's despair, how are you going to be in a place where you can actually do something to help the situation, to make the situation better? So this message is calling for you to just have an understanding of where the line is. What is actually yours? What is actually theirs? It doesn't mean that you don't have to be emotionally involved in the situation at all. It just means that you might be going in a little bit too much. You might be a little bit too codependent in this situation. So take a step back, observe, see where you might be able to pull your power back into yourself. That's what I would have to say with this Pisces card for you. Okay, card 5. Card 5 is card 5. This message is Leo telling you to shine. Shine for the benefit of all. Leo's lion symbol asks you to be brave, be visible, share from your heart, and warm all of those around you. Leo is a fixed fire sign ruled by the sun and is connected to the heart, liver, and upper back. The sun shimmers here July 21st through August 22nd. Take your space. Be visible. Light up the room, but also honor the light within others. Leo asks you to be the hearth fire of the situation. Hold other people's attention not just for your own ego, but for their benefit, as an actor or teacher would do. Warm their lives and be the person that people gather around to share stories. Bask in the sun. Cultivate your community with love. Share the bounty of your culture. Renew your spirits by living life to its fullest. Be honest rather than modest. Dramatize the situation to get your point across. Just be sure to track where the truth ends and hyperbole begins. Connect your expression and creative process to real feelings and honest facts. Teach, share, be generous with what you know, are, and have, and know that those actions attract the love and appreciation you need. Then, offer that same level of attention to others, and they will love you for it. People deeply appreciate being seen by you. Learn when to shine and when to step back and center another person, idea, or community. The challenge that comes with this: if you're acting from a place of soul hunger, you can mistakenly think that any attention from others will fill that gaping hole. Not all attention is good attention. Stubbornness, the fear of being wrong, or the desire to be seen as the leader may blind you to what is urgently needed. Melodrama can disconnect you from the real feelings involved. The gift of this is love. Leo rules the heart. So bring your energy and intention into your heart and let this chakra become a beacon. Honor the heart within each person you meet and watch the dynamics shift. If this was your message, this card, first and foremost, in the most loving way, is calling you to check your ego. Where are you getting attention from people, and what is the reason for that attention? Is it to boost yourself up, to make yourself feel good about yourself, to make yourself feel like you're worthy of something because all these people have their eyes on you? Or is it because you know that you have a light in you already, and you know that by sharing your story, by sharing your wisdom, by sharing your experiences, the other people can benefit? Where is your intention in what you're doing? This message is all about sharing from the heart. As the book says, Leo rules the heart. So this is a time to shine your love as big as you can. And this is one of those gifts that comes easily. So this card about Leo is all about shining, leading, helping others, encouraging others. And what I want to get across about Leo energy is that it's not an effortful way. It's not that every moment of every day in the back of your mind you have to think like, well, I'm on stage, everyone's watching me, everyone's following me. What this card is saying is that the more you fill your own heart, the more you fill your own cup so that you can act from a place of love, the more naturally you will lead the world. You'll lead your community. You'll lead those around you. So the general message from this is to lead with love. Now for card number 6. Card number 6 today is number 9, which is Sagittarius. The message is expand. Sagittarius asks us to think big, travel far, and use our restlessness and curiosity to create. A mutable fire sign, Sagittarius' symbol is that of the centaur, half man, half horse, which epitomizes the connection between humans and the natural wild world. Sagittarius, ruled by expansive Jupiter, rules the thighs, the muscles that propel our movement. The sun shines in Sagittarius November 22nd through December 21st. Sagittarius has 2 imperatives: expand your perspective and humbly speak your truth. So let your perspective become versatile, flexible, and curious. Travel in the body or in the mind and explore a larger philosophical, environmental, or metaphysical context for this situation. Imagine you are on a mountaintop. Look down at your life from 1,000 feet up. Now take it further, like the astronauts who look down on our spinning green and blue globe and see no borders between countries. You are a global citizen. Change your life to reflect this reality. Speak your truth. Remember the fairy tale, The Emperor's New Clothes? A pair of con artists arrive at an emperor's court claiming to make beautiful garments. They say their creations are only visible to people of quality. Incompetent people can't see the clothes. No one in the emperor's court wants to admit they can't see the supposedly intricate garments, and the emperor wears his new clothes on parade. Only one honest Sagittarian-style boy speaks up, states the obvious, that the emperor is naked, and breaks the spell. Ask what spell you need to break and speak up. The challenge for this message: just because you see it doesn't mean you have to say it. Timing and pacing are everything. Be honest, not mean. Ask if what you are about to say is wise, kind, and necessary, as well as true. Watch out for the geographic cure, the belief that travel will solve problems, because wherever you go, there you are. The gift of this: honor all your relationships. Sagittarius reminds us that our spiritual path is connected to all our relations: the 2-footed, 4-footed, many-legged, winged, scaled, and finned, and they are connected to us. If this is your message today, the message is to expand your awareness, expand your consciousness, expand your viewpoint of the situation. Are you utilizing your centaur's arrow too much? Are you pinpointing your view on the situation? Is it maybe time to take that bird's eye view to expand your horizon, to look at it from a higher vantage point, from a higher perception? And also, when you do find that higher perception, who do you need to share that truth with? Who might benefit from hearing an expanded perspective? Maybe there's someone else involved in this situation who is in a pinhole mindset. And what this card really pointed out as well is to use your tact, use your grace. It doesn't mean to start screaming it from the rooftops over and over and over and over. If there's a truth that you see that someone else is not able to see, speak your truth. But if they don't hear you, that's their choice. That's on them. It's not up to you to force everyone else to see your truth. That can be some shadow side Sagittarius. However, if you have something to say, speak up. Sometimes people are ready to hear the truth. They're just not able to expand their perceptions enough to see it for themselves. We're looking for card number 7. This message is card number 2, Taurus, cultivate. Taurus asks you to hold still, dig in, grow roots, and strengthen over time. Manifest in a practical way. Signified by a bull standing in its field, Taurus rules the neck and voice. Its purpose is to bring life into matter through growing wildflowers and crops, through our muscular strength and the sensual potential of our bodies, and through the solidness of our material resources. The sun shines here, April 21st through May 20th. Work with the metaphor of gardening. Plow the ground, plant the seeds, nurture the crops with water and fertilizer, and protect those crops from predation. Grow roots rather than travel. Investigate what concrete form your project should take, and the next practical steps in that direction. Appreciate the senses. Notice what you see, smell, hear, feel, and taste. Use the senses to be in the present moment and let time flow by. Cuddle. Feed. In a relationship, listen to both the signals of body chemistry and the practicalities of your life to give it a fertile field. Cultivate your garden. Like a slowly growing flower basking in the sun, find contentment in this moment. Explore the roots of the situation. Ask what feeds this idea or what feeds your soul. If you are feeling pushed about, sit, hold still, grow roots, and let the storm pass over you. Don't hurry. Play the long game as you plant and tend your crops. The challenge of this message: Taurus excess can lead you to mistake stubbornness for strength or look for spiritual and emotional answers in the material world. There will never be enough stuff to fill an emotional void. Sensuality is a Taurus gift, but sex alone will not fulfill a desire for love. Clarify your hunger. The gift of this message: everything that surrounds you is made up of matter, and the word matter comes from the Latin word mater, or mother. Taurus connects you to the sacred Earth Mother, Gaia herself, the physical vessel who holds spirit in the body, in the plants, and in the earth beneath us. Whatever situation you came to this reading asking about, the answer is to slow down, get in touch with your body, listen to your senses, and be comfortable planting yourself exactly where you are for some time. Taurus represents a very slow, patient process. They know what's to come, they know what the plans are ahead, and they're going to use the wisdom of their senses to get them to where they need to be. This energy is in it for the long haul. They know that nothing is going to change overnight. The message for you is to get comfortable exactly where you are. Know that your body has the wisdom to help get you to the next level, and that Mother Earth can also help you get to the next level. This card can have you walking out in nature, can have you sitting on the grass, literally planting yourself into the grass, imagining your own roots growing down. Just take it easy. Take it easy, feed your soul, take care of your body. indulge in some self-care, take a bath, do some aromatherapy, do what makes your body feel good. Card number 7. This message is card number 4, is Cancer. And the message is immerse. Cancer is symbolized by a crab who asks us to dive deep into the sea of emotion and come back home again. The crab always carries its protective shell, however. This moon-ruled cardinal water sign signifies nutrition in and out of the body and is connected to the breasts and stomach. The sun shines here June 21st through July 21st. Be the emotional leader and connect with the parent archetype. If you are in need of parenting yourself, reach out to the Divine Mother and Father, to the earth beneath the sky above, and feel held. Once you feel fed by spirit, it becomes easier to accept the ordinary human limitations of the people around you. If you're called to parent others in this situation, whether in love or work, do so with a balanced approach of honest feedback and support and self-care. Nurture without enabling. Model what you want others to do. Nourish the connections with your chosen family and tribe. Nourish bodies, gardens, communities, and your temple's hearth. Cancer calls us to deepen our relationship to home, but not to get stuck in this protective shell. If you need more out of life, you'll have to leave this safety to find what you need. Find a home base or a safe place within your soul. And from that safety, be ready to brave exploration and risk caring with all your heart. The challenge with this message: crabs are hard on the outside, but soft and squishy on the inside. Remember that the very defenses you think will keep people safe may actually keep important people out. Soften your shell, because you have a backbone and are not protected solely by an exoskeleton. The gift of this message: be aware of the psychic pool in which you float. If you feel tossed by the waves or battered by the anxiety of those around you, dive down deeper and find the calm below. Float in the ocean of collective consciousness and feel cradled, nurtured by the Divine Mother, fed, and cuddled. What I get from this card for you is to dive into your own self-care, but with the intention that you are building yourself back up so that you can leave and go out. Let me deepen that explanation. So this card speaks a lot about parenting because Cancer is connected to the mother archetype. So this started talking about being sure that you are nurturing without overprotecting, without being that helicopter parent, without doing too much and coddling. And everything in this life is a mirror. So every piece of advice that we hear about other people, we take it for ourselves as well. So because Cancer is this mushy, gooey crab in a hard exoskeleton, sometimes we can feel like we're protected because we have our walls up, right? And it's okay. I don't have to let people in because if I let people in, they're going to hurt me. So I have this hard exoskeleton and it's there, it's serving as a protection. But what you're really doing is yourself a disservice. And the message that I'm getting from this card is to prepare that mushy, gooey inner part of you to leave the exoskeleton every once in a while. This isn't saying to put yourself out there 24/7, be raw and vulnerable 24/7. It's not. This card is reminding you to find how much you truly love yourself, because at the end of the day, that is why it's so hard for you to be vulnerable. That's why it's so hard for you to let your defenses down at times, is because you haven't nourished that self-love yet. You haven't fully parented yourself yet and found that unconditional love for yourself. So the more you're able to connect with that mushy inside and just get to know who that person is, the easier it will be to take these adventurous trips outside of your shell. Because that's where you're going to find these true connections with the mushy, gooey insides of all the people in your community. And that's how you can connect deeper to feeling like you are part of the whole. Card number 9. Cool. They're all cool. Card number 9 brings us card number 7. This is Libra, and the message is balance. Libra asks us to strengthen all relationships with an infusion of justice, equality, equity, communication, fairness, and romance. The cardinal air sign Libra is ruled by Venus, and its symbol is balanced scales. Libra is connected to the kidneys, the endocrine system, and all ways a body comes into balance. The sun shines here September 22nd through October 21st. Compassion and purpose infuse beauty, and beauty flows from a balanced composition. To bring true balance to this situation, look at it through the lens of social justice and ask what would be unequivocally fair. Assess what you value, assess what others value, and find compromise. Become aware of any personal bias, whether you believe that your opinion is more important than someone else's, or that theirs is more important than yours. Chant, no justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. The first one being N-O, the second one being K-N-O-W. Be fair, straightforward, appreciative, and kind. Look at the whole situation for better composition. Balance the colors, the light, the shapes, and forms. Make sure everyone in this relationship feels heard. Acknowledge the existing beauty in the situation and ask yourself how you can bring in more. Explore the arts, music, and movement. Engage in expressive joy and let your soul take in this powerful medicine. Whether at work, at home, or in your love life, this situation may require a partnership of equals. As you create beauty and balance in your situation, you may call in new people who want to dance with you. Meet them on a level field and explore what you can do together. The challenge of this message? Sometimes conflict needs to erupt before a healthy equilibrium can be reestablished. Repression is not peace. Beauty can be misleading. Aesthetics alone can be shallow and incomplete, unless loveliness expresses a deeper beauty, a compassionate heart. The gift of this message: the Navajo refer to the beauty way as the path of a life lived in balance, living in the right relations with one another, with the cycles of nature, with the ecosystem all around, and with spirit. Let the beauty way call you. The message that I'm getting for your situation through this card is that it might not be ultimately good or bad, whatever situation you're in. I feel like there's a relationship that you're considering leaving. There's like a job that you're considering leaving. There's a situation that you're like, I'm out, I don't want to be here anymore. And what I'm feeling with these scales represented by Libra is that it's not totally off balance. It's not 100 and 0. It might feel that way if you're on the lower end of the scales, but what I'm getting the feeling of is that there's something intricate that can be compromised either way. Or it could also be that the scales are balanced, but they're not balanced with the right things. So maybe this side needs a little bit more compassion, and maybe this side needs a little bit more effort, and maybe this side needs a little bit more affection. You know, it's playing with the intricacy of the balance. I don't think that you are necessarily the victim or the loser in this situation, if it might feel that way. It's probably because there's just a little bit extra over there that you haven't figured out that you want on your side yet. It might be that you're reaching for one ingredient from the situation, you're reaching for one emotion, one feeling, one thing, but that's not what's going to balance out your scale. It's something a little bit different, something that the other person, situation, idea in this, something that the other has that you aren't necessarily aware that you want just yet. So ask for balance. Ask the universe for balance in this situation and give it some time. See what comes from that. All right, our card number 10. Card number 10 today is card number 8. This is Scorpio, and the message is investigate. Scorpio asks you to dive down and reach into the wellspring of your soul. Scorpio's symbols are the eagle and the scorpion, as this sign invokes both the soaring heights of the eagle's perspective and the scorpion's ability to burrow under the rocks of the psyche or culture. The fixed water sign Scorpio is ruled by Mars in traditional astrology and co-ruled by Pluto in modern astrology. It is connected to the pelvis and to the root chakra. The sun shines through Scorpio October 22nd through November 21st. Drop assumptions and ask questions. Be fascinated by a mystery. Dive deep into the well rather than settle for the surface. Look under rocks and be curious, as this situation is going to require some research. Take nothing at face value. Probe the conscious and unconscious passions that motivate this situation. Be aware of the sexual dynamics in the room and what role they play. Look at worst-case scenarios so you can prepare, and then feel safe enough to search for the best-case scenario. Be ready to transform and transmute the situation. Distill the essence, concentrate. Play your cards close to your chest. It's time to gather information, get the facts, work with that material, and introspect. Listen to both the facts and to your own intuition rather than to other people's opinions. Share only when you are ready. Appreciate moments alone. If you learn to be comfortable alone, you will have more bargaining power in relationships. Within the depths of your soul is your connection to the infinite. Search for it. The challenge of this message: question everything, including your own concerns. Jealousy and possessiveness drain your energy and waste time. Before triggering your defenses, the scorpion's sting, ask if that response will get you what you actually need. The gift of this message: transformation. Scorpio loans you the strength and curiosity to plumb the depths and face your monsters. Then soar to new heights and transform the situation. Feel the well within that connects to the collective source. Whatever you asked about today is going to need a little bit more of your attention and investigation. This is not an answer that you're going to get by staying surface level, by assuming that other people would approach life the way that you approach life. You got to dig beneath the surface. This is something that might get a little uncomfortable, especially if you're not used to probing, if you're not used to going beneath the surface, because what lies beneath the surface are some uncomfortable, scary truths. Things are hidden for a reason, because the person hiding it doesn't want the information to get out. The person hiding it has some sort of shame associated with why they're keeping it under the surface. So use caution as you probe, Bring compassion with you as you probe, and just understand that it's difficult for some people to share things about their lives, share things about their thoughts, about their desires, because they feel like they're going to be judged for it. So just imagine if someone were to probe into you with love, if they wanted to investigate a situation that you're involved in, and they start asking you a whole bunch of personal questions, and you finally get to the point of trust, and you finally say, okay, I think this is what I'm supposed to share with you so that you understand. What kind of reaction would you want from that person? Would you want them to start demonizing you and saying, wow, you're such a bad person, I can't believe you've been keeping this secret? You're probably not. You'd probably want them to say, oh wow, that must be really difficult for you to talk about. I can understand why you would want to keep that hidden, but it's okay. So whatever situation you dig into, just keep that air of caution that there's a reason why that person might have been hiding what they were hiding, or there's a reason why this situation was keeping something under wraps. But in order to get to the place where you want to go right now, you got to do some digging. All right, card number 11. Card number 11 brings us card number 6. This is Virgo, and the message is digest. Symbolized by a woman or goddess holding a sheaf of wheat, the mutable earth sign Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Wheat can only feed the multitudes once the grain is sorted from the chaff. Virgo is connected to the nervous system and the intestinal tract, the job of which is to sort nutrients from waste. The sun shines here August 21st through September 21st. Look for the grain and release the shaft. Weed, harvest, sort. Something in the situation needs to be sorted, edited, or reorganized in order to bring in its harvest. Whether you're asking about a relationship, a work project, or the culture in which you work. Virgo wants you to be specific, sort and release a habit, not a person, and change how you interact, but not necessarily with whom you interact. Examine the situation for patterns that need to be released and composted, and what seeds need to be saved for another time or planted for the next season. Rather than focusing on faults, appreciate what is valuable about each interaction, opportunity, and person. Truly absorb the warmth and wonder and be healed thereby. It may be time to take an introspective break and work on your self-care routine. Look at your diet and health habits to see what needs improvement. Absorb vitality. The challenge of this message: if you just weed the garden and don't plant or cultivate, all you'll have is an empty bed. Editing without creating gives you no content. Sometimes you have to ask the inner editor to take a break and let the creative process flow. Then let the editor clean and polish. The gift of this message: the world is gloriously complex. Virgo encourages us to see how the details fit together, how the leaves and twigs make up a forest. Light and shadow co-create our image of the whole. Rather than judge the worth of the part, pay attention to the necessary role each piece plays. The chaff protects the wheat so it can grow, and therefore it has value even if it's not edible. Perceive not just with your mind, but with mind, heart, and soul together. Your situation is in need of a little bit of editing, not a full throwing out the draft and starting over fresh. There's something that you may be hyper-focused on, the chaff in this situation, and I feel like you're just so laser-focused on this one thing that's not working, and you're just pointing at this thing is not serving the purpose that I want it to serve, and this is the thing, and this is the problem. So that's okay. Remove it for now. Does it necessarily need to be removed forever? Or is it something that just needs to be placed in a different part of the timeline of the situation? So using the shaft from this example, the shaft is very important and integral while the wheat is growing because it protects the wheat. Once the wheat is done, you can harvest it, you can remove the wheat from the shaft, then the shaft can go in the compost pile. But it doesn't mean that because the shaft is there and it's not doing anything for the first couple of months, you have to throw it out. So what this card is reminding you to do is to look at the role of every intricate part. Maybe zoom out a little bit, maybe stop looking at that one thing and how intimately this one thing is not serving the one thing that you want it to serve. And just take a step back and see how it might be serving somewhere else or in another time. And finally, card number 12. Card number 12 brings us card number 10. This is Capricorn, and the message is achieve. Capricorns ask us to dive deep into the sea of the collective consciousness to find a worthy dream, and then work on it and walk to the mountaintops. Capricorn, the cardinal earth sign, is ruled by Saturn. Its symbol is a mer-goat, half sea creature, half mountain goat. And the sign is connected to our bones and knees, the equipment we use to climb stairs and achieve our goals. The sun shines in Capricorn December 21st through January 20th. This situation needs a good and healthy structure, foundations upon which you can solidly build. Capricorn imbues ambition and drive, determination, willpower, and precision. When used with integrity, these qualities culminate in the gift of leadership. The Mergoat reminds us to dive into spirit, into the dream world, and get a vision for the good of all sentient beings, then to do the work needed to manifest it. Find motivation, set a goal, and build it with integrity. Mountain goats climb easily up and down, but aren't as comfortable on flat terrain. Capricorn energy can leave you depressed when you feel flat and see no progress. If you can't fish, mend the nets. Look for what can be done now and make it a project. Make short-term plans that take you to medium-term goals and help you climb your mountain over time. Celebrate each step. Capricorn encourages you to practice skills and develop spiritual disciplines. Learn to control yourself, not others. Lead rather than dictate. Look for guidance from elders or experts and grow your personal authority. Develop confidence through your portfolio. Observe and savor not what you think you can or can't do, but what you've actually done. The challenge of this message: keep an eye on the power dynamics. Without integrity, Capricorn ambition can enable gross manipulation. Control a tendency to become controlling or manipulative when feeling anxious. Do not fall in love with others' competence. Let it inspire your own. The gift of this message: wisdom grown over time and through mature experience is the gift of Capricorn, as is connection to the spiritual traditions and disciplines that offer a sound foundation for evolution. What I'm getting from this card is that you have these lofty goals and it might be feeling impossible to achieve. So you utilize what we've kind of been taught in our society and you say, okay, I just have to put my head down and work really, really hard, and I have to control all these aspects. I have to control what my salary is, control how much time I do this, control, because that's how we've been taught that we achieve the life of our desires. However, it can be easier than that using the Capricorn skills. So Capricorn is about structures, boundaries, bones, right? The bones of your life. So there's a practice that I want you to do that I actually just came up with a few hours ago while I was driving somewhere, and it's really interesting that this is coming up with the Capricorn card. What I want you to do is, do that thing where you envision your dream life. A lot of people have a hard time doing this because it seems so far away that they have no idea what they want, but just play with some different ideas in your mind. Where is your dream place to live? What does your dream house look like? What does your dream family look like? What kind of career might you want? What kind of relationships do you want? Who are you spending your time with? What kind of food are you eating? What kind of temperature are you spending your time in? And go ahead and just make this big, lofty plan. However works for you. Either do it visually, write it out in words, draw it, paint it, whatever. Get it somewhere that you have it. Then take that and kind of feel into the distance between now and then, and just get an idea for how big that gap is. And now imagine if that gap was cut in half. Okay, what does the midway point look like to get from where I am now to these big, lofty goals? And cut it in half. Where's the midway point? And feel into that. Where am I living then? What am I driving then? What's my salary look like then? What do my bank accounts look like here? What kind of relationships do I have? And if that still feels like too big of a gap, sense the gap between there and your midway point, cut it in half again. Now you're a quarter way to your dream reality, right? And keep having until you feel like you have a reality that you can actually call in, that you can actually work at today. That'll take these big lofty goals and they'll make them seem much more practical and tangible, because you're taking the gap from being light years away to being maybe a few different decisions on a daily basis away. Thank you so much for spending all of this time with me today. I really hope that you got something from these cards. I'd love to hear it in the comments, what you gathered from today, what aha moments you had, what some of your takeaways were. Let us all know, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Thank you.